Welcome into the Ringerverse. This is, of course, the Ringers Nexus podcast feed for all things fandom. We are Jomi, the explainer, Adeniran. You got questions, he's got answers. We are Steve, the architect, Ahlman. The builder and tinkerer of things. We are Old Man Van Heer, the receding resurgent hairline. We are Coke, Baby Chuck, the 24-karat closer, a.k.a. the brunch hottie, a.k.a. the Vince Staples hater.
I like Vince Staples. Oh, my God.
Joining us is the Midnight Collective, Arjuna, the Watcher, Ramgopal, Aleya O'Brien, Zenieris, and the chocolate drop himself, Mr. Midnight, Baby Oil, Jonathan Kermah.
No. We're not doing that. Nope.
Cut it.
Nope.
Get it out of
Together
there.
we are known as the Midnight Boys. Follow us on socials, Insta, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. For now, save Jomi's job. Jomi.
Social's going great, guys. They are loving the Scott Pilgrim Drake clip.
Oh, word?
That's going crazy.
Yeah. It went up?
Yeah, man. People were like, well, he probably could be, they got some similarities there. So I get into it, but, they're messing with it.
You're talking about Knives Chow?
I'm not going to, maybe.
I mean, it's obvious. What?
When
We didn't say it on the pod for a
Scott's
reason.
gotta have the mirror match at the end of the movie, who's that for Drake?
Oh, I mean,
God damn, Scott Pilgrim is a good movie.
It's a perfect movie.
Scott, you know
Perfect movie.
what we should do? We should do a worst heroes draft.
A worst heroes
Worst
draft?
heroes? Oh,
So
God, that's definitely
heroes
Scott.
that are the worst people.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
So Scott Pilgrim, definitely an asshole, right?
Terrible guy.
Yeah.
Super bad guy. Heroes that are the worst people. A worst
Oh,
heroes
Bruce
draft.
Wayne is getting drafted.
Good hero,
Yeah.
worst guy. See, the Bruce Wayne thing is interesting because it depends on the iteration of Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne that's fucking on Barbara Gordon, terrible guy. Dark Knight Bruce Wayne, kind of a good guy for the most part, right?
I don't know. Tower of Babel. This is going into the comic books when he's fucking over the entire Justice League, got files on him and shit. Come
I
on,
like
bro.
that.
Oh, yeah, no, that's
I like
Batman
that.
through
Justice
and through.
League, Justice
I like
League
that.
Doom?
Yeah, yeah.
No,
Doom?
because he never keeps it in the tuck. It's always a villain pops up. He's like, look at all, I got the files.
I like that.
Yeah.
Keep them on their
I
toes.
don't-
running numbers
I don't-
on everybody.
I don't trust y'all. Why would I trust
You
y'all?
got files on the midnight?
I don't have files on the Midnight Boys.
Are you sure?
I don't have. I definitely don't have files on the
The
Midnight.
feds gonna raid
But I'll
your
tell you this.
yeah.
I'll tell you this though. In the player proof in my crew, we all had
Got some files.
Y'all was in the notes app.
we all had nukes on each other
Right.
because we would drive each other consistently, right? We would continuously have these big insult battles,
Right.
and we'd all have these tucked away insults
Group chat
in
leverage.
case
Oh,
things
these are
went
the
bad.
atomic bombs. It's like all nations
Exactly.
have them.
It's like, it's not funny anymore. Now you got to.
Yep, nukes. I told you I was the story one time. One of the members of the Midnight Boy. Oh, okay. Just tell you a story real quick. One of the members of Player Proof, his father got arrested, right? And it was on the news.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so his father got arrested. It was on the news. So imagine that it's all of us, and you met these guys, all of them that are involved in this story.
Okay.
So imagine that I'm at one of my homeboys' houses.
Mm-hmm.
And we're sitting down and we're watching TV. So in the middle of the day, we had just left college, right? We had just left college to come back. I would pick him up and we would leave campus and go back to his house. Sometimes we would go back. I'm getting all these feelings right now. It was such an amazing time in my life, right? Just be at his house chilling, doing our whole thing. And we're sitting there, it's in the middle of the day, because we had just left our 10 o'clocks, and we see on the news, it says, breaking news. Local whatever, arrested on conspiracy and bribery charges or whatever.
Oh, nah.
And we're like, oh, shit. And then, they show him being drugged into the police station.
Right.
And he's like, I got this and this and that, blah, 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 whatever. They don't want to hear what I have to say, the whole nine, like a whole deal.
Uh-huh.
And me and my friend's mother are watching this.
Oh, no.
And then all of a sudden I look over and he's not there, right? He leaves.
Mhm.
And they're teasing the news that's getting ready to come on in like 10 minutes. They're saying like, stick around because at the top of the hour, this is going to happen. And then he comes back into the room. And when he comes back into the room, he has a videotape. And he puts the videotape into the VCR. And I watch him. And as soon as the news starts and they go to the story about our friend's dad, he hits record.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
You guys,
bro.
you guys, there's been talk about me exaggerating stories. I'm telling you guys straight up right now, I swear on my dad, this is 1,000,000% true.
I believe this.
He presses record. And I'm watching and I'm like, nah, man, he can't. He's like, yeah.
Was
Yeah.
this tape ever played again?
It was just kept on the tuck.
Right.
Never know.
Has this
You
been like
never know.
updated?
It was just kept on the tuck. There were so many other things, he come to you, he tell you stuff, you help your boy out, but you keep it on the tuck. And I don't do this with anybody else, but with them, we would go. There was a legendary trip to Memphis where we drove 7 hours to Memphis, and in the car, we said the most fucking vile things about each other.
Sure.
It just, the drive battle started.
Mhm.
So you had to keep new. So I get Batman. That's the whole point. I get Batman. I don't know where the tape is now. Nigga, you know that you probably still got that tape. Waiting. I don't know where the tape is now because it was very funny. Because they had him and they were pulling him in. And he was like, they were grabbing him, pulling him in. He's like, they don't want to.
They're not ready for the truth.
They don't want you to hear what I have to say. I'm investigating several lawyers and judges too. My friend's mother was watching it with us.
That's
Anyway,
so crazy.
No,
So I get Batman. I'm telling you, bro, that's why I came up different, bro, different. All right, we're now on YouTube. You can watch every Midnight Boys House of R Talk to Thrones episode on youtube.com/@Ringerverse. Like, comment, and subscribe. This week, the House of R will be giving you their deep dive on the latest episode of Rings of Power and Agatha All Along. No Penguin for them, huh?
No, I think they're doing a mid-season check-in.
No
or something.
Clubfoot
Something later.
Clubfoot criminals. And this Saturday, Min Edition gives you their reactions to Transformers 1. The buzz on Transformers 1 is really good.
Sounds like it could be fun.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
But on today's show, we're looking at the season premieres of The Penguin. I don't think I'm going to use the.
Penguin?
The Penguin is what I
I
call
don't think
it.
it's
Nah, it's not.
Because he gangster, bro.
Nah, but it's not the same. It's
He
not the
gangster.
same. I mean, aside from the purple Maserati, there's not really.
He got the purple suit.
Mm,
He got the gold tooth.
I don't really.
The Penguin. All right, fine.
Nah.
Fuck you then. And Agatha All Along. Getting back into shows. Boom! All right. Spoiler for The Penguin. Let's go. We're getting ready to talk about
The Penguin.
You're listening to a reaction podcast. The spoilers are coming. All right, let's get into it. Chuck, why didn't you like it?
Wait, we're not doing the Midnight Manifest? We not. We just skipping straight to this shit, bro.
Forget the Midnight Manifest.
Forget the pretense.
Put the Midnight Manifest. As a matter of fact, put it in now.
Okay.
Okay.
Right, and 3, 2, 1.
All right.
All right, this is your Midnight Manifest for The Penguin, created by Lauren LaFranc, based on Matt Reeves' The Batman, starring Colin Farrell, Kristen Elodie, and Renzi Feliz. This first episode, the premiere, is titled After Hours, directed by Craig Zobel, written by Lauren LaFranc. After the massive flooding that destroyed parts of Gotham, the Penguin is trying to scrounge up more criminal real estate. He kills Alberto Franco, the heir to the Falcone crime family, after a conversation gone wrong at his Iceberg Lounge. Alongside his new sidekick and street youth, Victor, Cobblepot hides Alberto's body and swears the boy to secrecy. After the family tries to muscle Penguin out of the drops business, Cobblepot spends the rest of the episode trying to outmaneuver Sophia Falcone, who suspects he has something to do with her brother's death.
Chuck, get to it. Why didn't you like it?
Wait, wait, really? Okay. Good. All right, come on, bro. I can't get jiggy with this shit. Nigga. Like,
You know,
Me, I grew up in Gotham. We went to the bodega, the slush puppies. We mixed them together. They the greatest thing ever.
I fucking love that.
That's great.
That's good shit.
I want to watch the sunrise.
That's good. That was good.
Yeah, that was good.
Honestly,
I love
name,
this slush
like
puppies.
Charles
We
the
mix them
Penguin.
together.
Charles the Penguin Holmes.
The Penguin Holmes.
Charles the Penguin Holmes. I like that, bro. You just fucking nailed it. Charles the Penguin Holmes, bro.
Nah, bro. Here's the thing. I got a lot of respect for my man Colin Farrell. Kristen Melody is like the GOAT. I butchered her last name. Well, come on, man. I can't watch Colin Farrell waddling around in the fat suit for 8-10 episodes like this. It's just what do you?
Guess what I'm about to say?
Okay.
Just you guys guess.
You agree?
I fucking loved it.
All right, man.
I swear to God.
No, wait, no, hold on.
Bro, when I tell you,
Nah,
when I
bro.
tell you that, I'll be honest with you. When I tell you that there hasn't been a show in a while that scene to scene that I felt like was scripted better, moved better, was as unexpected.
Industry is on right now.
I like
on the
Industry.
same network.
I like Industry. But what I'm telling you is like, when I'm watching this and scene to scene, I really have no idea what's going to happen or how these situations are going to resolve themselves. I thought that his performance, now I'm looking at it, maybe you could play, like you play the character too. I thought his performance, I'm just talking about the first episode here, was phenomenal. I thought Falcone's daughter, who's the lady from
I Met Your Mother?
also USS Callister, right?
Yeah.
Fantastically scary as a villain. All of that, to me, the first episode, even the way Oswald has to manipulate this world and his standing in it, I think the arc from him being kind of middle management to going to be the big dog of this, which is where I assume we'll get at the end of this, I think it was a banger of a first episode. I'm not gonna bullshit you. I fucking loved it.
This is the network that Sopranos was on, and we basically get Sopranos cosplay for an hour. And you're telling me this is one of the best.
I could not disagree more. What I couldn't disagree more. Like, let's get the men boys in here right now.
I was actually I'm more on Van's team. I really enjoyed the first episode. I think what was interesting to me was he has the meeting with Joel from Miss Maisel, and I'm left to think like, oh, maybe it's important. Like, okay, they're gonna figure it out, and he shoots him, and then it just starts snowballing from there, right? Like that's how the plot goes, and I'm like, I like it. I like how Oswald was trying to maneuver his way. I have some questions about like his thought process, but ultimately it seems kind of successful, and so I'm very interested to see where this narrative is going to take us. How Oswald gets from being middle management to being like the Penguin.
I'm very intrigued. I don't think it was very like not like poorly illustrated, but I wasn't really sure of how like actually low to middling Penguin's position was when we saw the Batman. And then now it's like, oh, he's actually like really not that high up at all. And to know that he has to dig himself out of even worse than when he started at the end of the Batman. This is like a very interesting start to what a crime drama can be as a lead into this next movie. I think we all agree that like we kind of love what Colin Farrell did in both the movie and this.
Well, I mean, he just disappears, right? I mean, it's the makeup, it's the accents, the entire thing. It's just like, if you didn't know that was Colin Farrell, you'd be like, "Oh, who is that?"
When we saw that Colin Farrell was going to be the Penguin in the Batman, you're like, "What?
Yeah.
Why? Like, what does he have to do?" And like, especially in this, where I'm like, "Oh, he's just doing something that's like really atypical for him and atypical for what we see in." I think the types of crime shows that are like, again, we miss it. Like The Sopranos is like the easy comp that we keep hearing in like both the reviews for the entirety of the season and for, the fact that it's on HBO. I'm curious as to think that like, if there's any other sort of like middle ground, I'm not willing to go that far yet to say that it's as good as The Sopranos, nor will I probably ever, but I'm curious to think that like, if we can get something like this, could this be like Batman's Andor moment? I
mean, look, The Sopranos and Andor. How about this? How about we try to do something right now on
Team Exercise?
Team Exercise.
Team Exercise.
How about we attempt to do this?
Okay.
How about we attempt to judge this show in its capacity of the world that it's in, that Reeves and the other guys created for the Batman. Let's forget about Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Let's forget about The Sopranos. Let's forget about even Andor. Even though I like the fact, I think that's a good comparison in terms of for the superhero world, this being something that's more grounded, that leans into the grime of Gotham, kind of like Andor did with
and
the Star Wars
elevates
world.
the material, actually.
Right. So I like that. But because to me, this is my thing. I'm watching the show, The Penguin. I'm turning it on, and I never thought that I would be watching a solo show about Oswald Cobblepot because he's not the type of character.
His name's not Oswald Cobblepot.
Whatever.
Oz Cobb.
Oz Cobb. It's like he's not the type of character that you care that much about in order to ground and carry his own show.
Mm-hmm.
And you're watching it, and there's not a reason to turn from it. And as a matter of fact, in almost every scene, they get right, to me, the sort of underlying drama and tension. Fantastic performance by Colin Farrell that you need to stay on top of it. Right away, he kills someone, he shoots somebody. It's a very important person. The sister shows up. The kid sees it. Every single scene means something. Nothing is wasted. You learn something about the characters every time the camera is on, all the way to the end. This guy has all of these people figured out that are more powerful than him. Eventually, this person, this character has to be somebody that can match wits with Batman. So really, this 8-episode arc is proof of concept that this Penguin will be a worthy adversary for the smartest, most well-resourced guy in Gotham.
And it's also, we have our history with the Penguin, at least in the character as its many iterations before that. Like, he's a character that acts out of impulsivity and insecurity.
Mm-hmm.
And that's perfectly put on display in this very first episode. Like, a guy makes fun of him and he just shoots him. And he doesn't even realize that it's the one guy that you really shouldn't be shooting.
He does realize.
He doesn't really.
He does.
I mean,
He does
After it's way too late.
Yeah, but even that was different though. So normally you look at Penguin and you call him fat or you call him a penguin, you call him short, whatever, and he shoots you. This guy actually, Falcone's son, he threatened Penguin's view of things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even so much, it wasn't like, hey, you waddle or whatever like that, you make it and then you shoot him. He threatened the very thing that Penguin wants and holds most sacred, which is the way that old school gangster was looked at.
Yeah.
He said everything that you want and everything that you respect is bullshit.
Yeah.
And he didn't realize how that was going to make him feel. He actually made him feel small, the same way the other Penguin would feel, in a different way.
Yeah.
So it's the same character, but it's new.
Yeah.
It's different. It's not relying on any of the old tropes. I think it works, and I think it deepens, to me, the world that they're trying to create with the Batman.
Yeah. Charles, anything you got to say? Want to participate?
Nah, y'all got this.
Got it.
Know?
Cool. So we'll move on.
Y'all got this.
So
Look forward to talking to you about Agatha, by the way.
I liked the characters. The characters. Okay, who did you like in it?
Victor. Right? Like Victor, they're trying to jack his no? Okay.
Bruh, it's just like we gotta keep it a buck. I'm supposed to believe that Penguin is smart enough to go up against Batman, but he fucks up, leaves his car out there. The kids are stealing it. He's just like, all right, you're gonna help me move this body. I'm gonna kill you. No, I'm not gonna kill you. Let me introduce you to my mom. I'm like, what? No, this doesn't make any sense. And also, I'm gonna be honest, there are parts in the first episode where I get it. These two characters are together because they have special needs. One has a messed up foot, the other one stutters. And there's a moment when they're on the subway and they look down at a handicap seat and they're like, nah, we ain't gonna sit there. And I'm like, is this what we doing? Is this what all this shit has come to? Like, it gotta be this obvious. I don't know. Come on, bro. This is what y'all fucking with?
Man, give me a beat. Yo, that nigga Charles is fucking miserable.
I am.
That nigga
Charles
is down in the dumps.
in the dumps.
That nigga Charles is fucking miserable.
Miserable.
That nigga Charles needs a fucking smile. Why don't you put some Andor on for him? Why don't you put some anime on for him? Why don't you put some other shit on for him? 'Cause that nigga Charles, he's out of here and we out.
It's good. It's good.
New drop.
Y'all didn't even see it when you weren't there because you dating too many people. We gotta talk to you.
What are you talking about?
Every time we ask Charles to do something,
He's like, I got a date on Saturday. I got 3 dates at
every time
5
we ask
p.m.
Charles is, man, Charles nasty, bro. Every time, every time we ask Charles to do something, Charles doing different, like all kinds of shit. I gotta take a girl to a pottery class.
I'm going roller skating in the valley.
I'm going bird
I'm
watching.
living life. I was at a nice steak dinner.
I was
not a date.
I'm going
Last
bird
night.
watching with this chick that I just met. It's weird. So we were having fun together, and me and Jomi were freestyling at the house. Remember?
That's right.
Also, no, this is what upsets
going
me.
crazy.
Y'all invite me literally the day before.
Not true.
No, that is true. You do like their plans are made like
Plans are
less
made. I'm
than
just like,
24
I already
hours in
have
advance.
something. What do you want?
You know what? You know what the reality is? Jomi met Daniel Kaluuya.
And
Jomi met Damson Interest. Jomi was dancing with Paris Hilton. Jomi,
Wait, what? That's not true.
You were dancing with
I would have
Sarah.
heard about this.
Don't-
This is
don't-
a lie. This is a lie.
Allegations
This
are
is a lie.
not being
This is a lie.
made, Jomi.
Don't
This is a
worry.
lie.
Don't. Hey, all I'm saying is,
Did this actually happen?
Jomi.
This did happen.
All I'm saying is, Jomi is getting in there. Okay, Jomi, because Jomi is part of the family. There's some things happening. Jomi is.
He has motion.
Jomi is getting motion in the town
Right.
with people
Okay.
who like Jomi,
Mhm.
who want Jomi around. The rest of y'all can't be bothered, and it's gonna cost you. That's all. You too.
Don't do that, because don't do that. Don't include me.
I know,
'cause
I
I'll be
wanna
texting
get
you.
her.
I'll be texting you, and I don't get the response.
No, answer this true.
The rest of y'all,
Dan,
the
does
rest of
Dan
y'all,
be inviting people last minute?
Yes.
the
Last
rest of
minute.
y'all
Yes.
can't be
hours
bothered,
before.
That's
The rest of y'all
not.
can't be
That's not
bothered,
how it goes,
and
man.
it's gonna cost you.
You.
It's
It's worse than for me, Charles, because you get it. You get it 24 hours before. I get it 30 minutes
Yes.
before. Like, yo, where you at, Kermah?
5 years from now, Jomi's gonna be in Deadline magazine like this. Like they're gonna be like the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. reboot coming back.
Executive producer.
Executive producer Jomi Adeniran. Jomi's gonna be like this. Y'all don't want to fuck around? It's cool. Y'all can't be bothered. It's great. I don't know how we got here.
How? Yeah,
So
I
here's
don't-
the thing. Here's the thing about that scene, right? I think the scene is to illustrate, like, yeah, it is kind of weird. I don't.
I know,
like,
I get what the scene's trying to do, but I was
Yeah,
like, all
It's
right,
not
man.
weird, bro. It's just hey, you know what? That's how Charles feels.
That's how it feels.
I recognize it too. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. That's how Charles feels. So everybody get off. That's how Charles feels. The whole
No,
shit.
no. This is I
say-
do feel like as the Midnight Boys, I get it. You know, the three of you are generally more positive than I am. That's fine. We all have our roles to play on this show. Like, well, come on, y'all can't tell me you can walk in here and be like, yo, we really excited for the Penguin.
That
Like,
show, that first, I swear, bro, I promise you. And I went in thinking that they had gassed it. The first episode was legitimately great to me. I'm not saying it's the greatest pilot I've ever seen before in my life, but I'm like, oh my God, I want to see what happens in episode 2. Like like the first episode was legitimately great to me.
I guess, and I will
What
talk
would it
about
have
this.
to do? Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
What? Let's do this. What would the show have had to do for a Penguin show, a show that you weren't high on going into? Because you're asking, like, why do we need a Penguin show? And I think that's a fair assessment. I think a lot of people felt that way. What would the show have had to do, or what does the show have to do? Because there's only one episode.
Yes.
To make you say you're interested in it and it deserves to exist.
So I think what was interesting about the Batman is that when Colin Farrell comes into that movie, it's like a shot of adrenaline and electricity just because you have this very over-the-top comedic performance that in a very, very dour film. I thought Colin Farrell was very, very good in that. What the TV show has to kind of illustrate is not only why does this character deserve 8 hours of my time, but also can you take a character that was the comedic relief and can be over the top because he does not have to be at the center of the frame. Can this character hold my attention and not basically be a parody of a gangster? And I think at least in my watching of the first episode, I'm like, oh, this character was really, really effective in a small dose. And then over the course of like 50 minutes, I'm starting to feel like the portrayal of the character, I'm just like, it's a little cartoony. And I know that the Penguin is a very cartoony character, but it seems like how do you say her last name? Kristen, I don't want to keep butchering it. Melody, yeah. Melody. She's doing a wonderful job as well. I just think that there are very like over the top cartoonish moments in what Matt Reeves made a very grounded, dour, realistic world. And having those things have not meshed. I can't take, if we're comparing this just to like the genre of like gangster movies or whatever, I can't take it seriously because it's like, what the fuck are drops? Like, I know that they were in the Batman movie, but I'm like, this is HBO. And because it's tied to this Batman mythos, instead of dealing with the show, like in The Wire, they do a very, very good job of illustrating these are real drugs. This is what the drugs mean to this community. Here are the people who are buying them. Here are the people who are selling them. And in this, it's just like, there's drops, and now we got some new kind of drops that Oz wants. And I'm like, what is that? It's like cartoonish.
So if they had called it cocaine, that would have worked? Or like heroin?
No, if I'm saying right now, I do feel like if you're on HBO, because they have a history of this, I do think that if there's going to be a show about like gangs and moving up with them and crime and drugs or whatever, you need to make it feel like realistic versus right now, which is just kind of like, it's comic book bullshit. And I'm just like, all right.
I think it's kind of straddling the line as best it can, because like drops and the entire like inherent silliness of a place like Gotham being the worst and most dour place in the world with like a rampant drug problem and crime, that's like, you know, it's embedded and kind of silly inherently. And the Penguin is a little silly anyway. And they try to ground it as best they can.
That Matt Reeves Batman movie, he does not. The way he positioned that, and even watching it, he doesn't think it's silly.
I understand,
you know?
That. But the show takes itself seriously enough to where I think
I don't think there's anything silly about the show.
No. But I mean the idea that there's a guy called the Penguin and he waddles around like a bird. Like the idea that those characters can transfer over to anything resembling realistic is like there's gonna be a suspension of disbelief that you have to have.
So are you saying that in this, because The Wire has a character like Bubbles, and Bubbles is the primary way through which we see, and just comparing this show to The Wire, it's just like so nuts. I just want to put that out there.
It's setting itself up to fail.
But let's just go there though, because I think it's interesting. So Bubbles is the way that we see how the drug epidemic has ravaged the human being. In The Wire. Bubbles is actually activated in season 1 of The Wire against the Barksdale organization, obviously because his homeboy is fucked up, and you see the cost that the addict and how that average person can affect all of this. And also, you know, Bubbles is one of the only people that comes out of that 5-season arc clean. Yeah. Would you have wanted a character like that that's using drops, or just kind of, did you want more about showing how drops ravage Gotham? Like, what are you talking about?
Oh, I more so mean that the reason that you bring up The Wire, Sopranos is not because that's what this show is trying to be. It's just saying that like now that this went from a Max show to an HBO show, I can point to other shows like that. You've even brought up Breaking Bad, and I can point to, I'm like, this is what this show is trying to do. Whether it's like, this is trying to show you the psyche of a mobster, and we are going to this is going to be a very cerebral show. Or we're going to show you like a show about how the structures of this city, whether it be the drug structures, the government, or whatever, is literally eroding away. Same thing with Breaking Bad. Like, you know what it's about. When I watch The Penguin, I'm just like, and once again, it only has one episode. I'm like, what is this show trying to tell me about anything? What is it trying to tell me about the drug trade in Gotham? What is it trying to tell me?
It's about him.
I feel like it's more of a character study.
Hold on. Yeah, it's not about any of that, because it's about him. It's like literally.
What is it trying to tell me about the Penguin though?
What it's trying to tell you about the Penguin. I don't want to answer for the creators of the show. It's trying to tell you that, if I'm just judging by the first episode, the Penguin is up against it.
Yes.
Right? The show is trying to demonstrate that this character, that his resourcefulness, his guile, even the scene with his mother, right? Oof. when he walks in there to his mother and he starts complaining to her. And when he starts complaining to her, she's listen, I'm saying, are you a pussy boy? She's like, no, you're not a pussy.
That was crazy.
She's like, she's not a pussy. You're my strong son. The show is building the Penguin that we know. It's not about Gotham. It's not about all of these forces around him are putting pressure on him to make the diamond that the character will be at the end of the 8 episodes. If it doesn't get you on that, then the show won't get you.
But I think my problem with this, and this is my problem a lot when you start stretching IP so far, which is that's more interesting when Batman is in the frame because we have something to put. It's the same thing with the Joker movies where you have something where it's like, oh, Bruce was rich and Bruce comes from like a family and this is what he decides to do with his life versus the Penguin who you're like comes from less, builds himself up and you see that on the screen. And even in the comics, I'm like, I don't know if the Penguin is interesting enough or has enough to say as a character where I'm just like, oh, I want to see Colin Farrell turn into the Penguin we know. I'm like, who's the Penguin we know?
Did you want to see that from Cassian Andor?
I think that I'll be honest, I think that that's a different thing because for Cassian Andor, I'll be honest, in the beginning, I didn't. But what the show actually did win me over is I'm like, this is a show, like we were saying, about structures. This is about a show about the world of Star Wars in a way we've never seen it, where it's like, we're going to teach you about this planet in this culture or what the prison industrial complex is like in the Empire, where it's like, I don't think this show is interested in that. To your point, I think you are correct. It's interesting in like, this is how he becomes the Penguin. And I'm like, the Penguin isn't that interesting of a character, especially when Batman's not around. So it's just very hard for me to like have anything to hold on to.
Were you entertained by the show?
No.
Okay. I definitely was.
I was.
So I was definitely entertained by the show. What did we find the most entertaining about the first episode?
Outside of just the charisma bomb that is Colin Farrell's performance, I really kind of like what we're going to be leading into with the dynamic between him and Sophia, because there's obviously a lot of history there, and they already come into one another with like a big gripe. Like, you murdered my brother, and we already have this like added history of like kind of wanting to emulate the better parts of, you know, what crime means in this city and being the lesser subservience of more powerful people. Now that we have a step up to the plate, what are we going to do with it? I like that. I think that that's going to be probably like the crux of this entire show.
I think the interesting thing for me is how he's going to play the Maronis and the Falcons, you know? Like, he goes to prison and he sees Clancy Brown. Shout out Clancy Brown, still getting work.
Nice Clancy Brown
Great
appearance.
Clancy.
You know what I mean? And he gives him the ring. And in my head, I'm like, why would you do that? But it's a setup, right? Because at the end of the episode, Joel's missing his pinky where he kept the ring on. You know what I'm saying? So how he plays them against each other and how Sophia gets involved, like that entire world, that entire arc, I'm interested to see where that goes.
So, you know what's funny? So, do you remember Justice League?
Yes.
Where
the movie or the show?
Animated show?
The movie. I know we've all tried to forget.
Yeah.
There's one good scene in Justice League. Well, there's a couple of good scenes, honestly.
Are there?
It's a couple of good scenes.
I can't wait to hear this.
But there's one really good scene in Justice League that was well written where Superman is going berserk after he comes back to life.
Okay.
And he's like,
Kal-El, no.
Kal-El, no.
Right, yeah.
Cal, don't do it. He said, you can't do nothing with this motherfucker.
Yeah, no. I did like when the Flash was trying to sneak up on him, and he
that's
just goes,
funny. And he sees him through the Speed Force,
and then he's like,
and he's like, well, we don't talk about the Flash.
No, we don't.
But it's my worst moment. But it's just funny part. Like, the Superman goes berserk. Y'all can't do shit. Just fucking run.
Yeah.
But Batman goes, it's time to bring out the big guns. Right? And you think it's going to be kryptonite or something else, or people thought that Shazam was going to fly in or something like that, and it was Lois Lane.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
No.
That's good.
That's well written.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, like, hold on.
No, that was all right. That was all right.
I don't give a fuck what y'all say. Because like...
It was played terribly, but like the idea of that is...
No, I'm 1,000,000% serious.
All
because but let me tell you why that
What did you say that night?
That was good to me. The reason why that was good to me is because that's something that Batman would do. I'm telling you. That's something that Batman would do.
Yeah.
Hell no.
Batman would do that. No, that's in the file.
No,
that's in the file.
He's not wrong, but I just remember, I think it was before that scene, he gets knocked to a cop car, and then one of the bystanders like, "You all right, man?" He's like, "Oh, he's holding his back. I'm too old." That movie was dumb as hell, bro.
Who, Batman? Oh,
yeah.
The movie is stupid. But,
The movie's dumb.
But listen, the reason why that scene works for me is because I always say it, and maybe it's misogyny, but Superman's weakness is not kryptonite. His weakness is Lois Lane. His weakness
his weakness is literally kryptonite.
It's not.
Well, his biggest weakness
is not.
We'll say.
His weakness isn't that. His weakness is that he cares about people.
Mm-hmm.
So you can make Superman stop doing what he... In the very first Superman, I don't think you understand superheroes very well. No, I'm serious. I'm serious because in the very first Superman, Lex Luthor does something to Superman that is very easy to do. He says, I am going to send a nuclear bomb to destroy the eastern seaboard, right? I'm going to shoot 2 nuclear bombs. One is going to destroy the eastern seaboard. One is going to go to the desert. That's what Lois is. Superman does something stupid in the movie, turn the world back. But Superman's deal is that he has to make the right decision.
Mm.
So he has got to fly to save the most people. Mm-hmm. So you can always manipulate him.
This is every superhero, though.
Not really.
Yes.
Batman
the stakes are different, but yeah.
Not really.
Yeah, because here's the thing. The whole thing about superheroes is, how do you hurt a superhero? Most of them are invulnerable. You hurt the people closest to them.
Right. This is essentially what the Avengers were arguing about. You see what I'm saying? Like this, you think it was, but with enough superheroes, this is essentially what they were arguing about.
Mm-hmm.
What the Avengers were arguing about was their responsibility to the people versus their responsibility to themselves, right? This is what they were arguing about. Superman is this on, like, even more so, like way, way, way more. Back to the Penguin. In the Penguin episode, when Bruce Wayne says, "I'm gonna bring out the big guns," you're like, oh my God. Bruce Wayne's actual superpower is that he understands people's pressure points. And he understands not his strengths, but their weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
That's his actual superpower. We talked about this before. It's not that Superman has just understand what he can do. What I can do this, I can move this, I can punch this, I can do that. Bruce Wayne understands what you can't do. And then he uses that. When he pulls out the ring, I'm thinking in this situation, is he just gonna get up and walk away and be insulted by this guy? He goes, no, he very matter-of-factly goes, oh, here's this right here. And the whole energy changes.
Yeah.
This guy now thinks, this guy who didn't have any estimation for this man, was talking down to him, was fucking over him, was completely looking past him, now wonders, how in the fuck did you do that? Now, every single situation the Penguin leaves, every scene he leaves from somebody, he leaves them off balance. He leaves them in a situation where they're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and it's what we end on.
Yeah,
it's like
every time he's like, how did he do that? How did he do that? But the pressure builds for him to do that all the way up through to the last time, because he's literally getting tortured to death. Mm-hmm. At first, it's small. At first, he has to talk his way out of the situation with the Falcone guy. Then he kills him. The pressure ratchets up a little bit. Then it's his sister. Then she's onto him. Then he gets and it just keeps getting until the end, where the only thing standing between him and death is his ability to prey on all of these people. You see her scream, ah, and you see him smile. She's now weak and he's now strong, and you're wondering if he can keep that up throughout the rest of the 7 or 8 episodes.
Just diverting pressure from himself to these other things.
And that's his superpower. Yeah. Like that's his...
Sophia mentions it, right? It's like you're so good at talking your way out of stuff. Mm-hmm. Like that's your entire thing, is your charm. For a guy who looks like you, how do you continue to talk your way out of these situations? Doesn't make sense to her, and yet he does it.
Right. He not only does it, he plays them against each other. Now we just kind of got to see who is going to survive, like his rise. I honestly, I'm I'm doing so much work for the show. Y'all gonna think that I know somebody on it. I don't. I honestly didn't think they could make me care about it, and didn't think they could write it that way.
It's very impressive because again, I hate to compare it to Andor, but it's the fact that we get a character that we were like, okay, he was good in this, but like, did we really need something like this to not only prove that it's worth its existence, but actually worth something even more? Like that can be impressive, and it's nowhere to go but up.
Telling you guys right now, episode 2. Charles is gonna love it because they got Damian Wayne in it. I heard that.
We don't know that. We haven't seen anything. We don't know this actually. This is not true.
You guys,
this is not screener game.
You have to watch the Penguin episode 2. Timothy Chalamet as Damian Wayne.
Absolutely not.
I'm gonna be real. I'm not watching the next episode.
Absolutely.
I might be taking off, bro.
All right.
We'll do it. We'll do it. Hey, you know what? This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna give. You have to come to work. Because we need you for the Midnight Boys.
We should have him with like a little
I got vacation
whiteboard.
days.
But
just like he holds up.
But like we could also do what's something called a Charles opt-out.
Oh.
Where Charles becomes the Spliff Star. Y'all know who Spliff Star is?
Yeah. It's Buster's guy.
Buster's guy.
What?
That's the fuck I'm talking about.
All right.
Steve, that's what the fuck I'm talking about.
How the fuck do you know Spliff Star, but you don't know Chief Keef, motherfucker?
So
like,
weird.
what?
22 G's.
It's a patchwork.
Like, it's so funny, bro. I did not think that you would
This
know.
I know Steve old as fuck, bro.
Like, Flip old school. My nigga, he's sneaky old.
Dipset.
He's sneaky old, bro. He's sneaky old.
Sneaky old.
Sneaky old. You're sneaky old.
I am sneaky old.
No. Don't say it like you're okay with it. Because you're not.
Okay. I kind
of have to be okay with it.
Prom, bro.
Wait, you know what I'm saying?
You know 22 G's and Buster's guy, but you don't know 5 civil rights leaders?
Okay, all right. Again,
your
I proved this at
work of like black dog. We should do a Black American history according to Steve. Just see like what's important.
What lines I can draw.
Wait. This is a great episode. so we got worst heroes draft. We gotta do that, and then we just gotta do the Steve quiz. Now this is what we're gonna do. That was a nervous laugh.
Of course it was. That's like all of my laughs here.
So this is what we're going to do. Okay. We're going to have a Steve quiz. And we're going to curate the Steve quiz. And we're going to make up like what we expect from Steve.
Okay.
First of all, how many questions should the quiz be? 20, 25, 30?
I think 20, 25.
Yeah,
20, 25. Let's do 25. And we're going to base this on proficiency. It's like the Wonderlic test for the NFL. Okay?
Is it divided by like...
No times.
Are we doing sections? Like there's going to be a culture section, politics, like Black history.
Like trivia pursuit pie.
Yeah.
We're going to make up this whole deal.
Okay.
And then we're going to grade you whether or not you're a first, second, third, fourth, or fifth round white boy.
Okay.
And what I want people to do, we're going to come up with the questions. And then I want people to think about how Steve will score. And we're going to make sure, because I'm going to be honest with you, I think you're going to be stronger than people think that you will.
Okay.
Because the Spliff Star thing,
I appreciate that.
I can't believe it.
You can't believe that I knew who Spliff Star was?
No, bro. No fucking way.
Okay.
Spliff Star somewhere right now like, yeah, nigga. I fucking mad.
I was at the Missy concert. Yeah, he was there.
He came out?
Yeah, he was.
You were at the Missy concert?
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
So it was the best concert I ever been to.
Dog, what is Steve be doing all the Black activities when he's not around, bro?
We're not around, bro.
Dude, he doesn't even know he's doing it for the love. He's like, I don't even need my boys here to see me do this.
Except learning about our history. So I really do think that Steve will fucking kill the culture section, kill the music section, kill the actor section. Remember the Jordy LaFord situation?
Right.
Kill that. I just think he's going to struggle with history.
Yeah.
And I think if I wanted to, I could give him a list of things that Black people invented and he would just get fucking destroyed, right? Like nobody knows that. Like Arjuna, who invented peanut butter? That's a
Wait, what?
I know that a Black man invented peanut butter.
You can't do that. Not peanut butter?
Hold on. Wait. See what the fuck I'm talking about,
Hey,
bro?
man, bro.
Like, see what I'm saying? Aleya, who invented peanut butter?
I know it's a Black man, but I don't remember.
What's his name?
What school system did y'all go
peanut butter
to?
motherfuckers. Who invented peanut butter? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Who invented it? By the way,
He didn't just invent peanut butter.
Technically, he didn't he kind of did. He invented all different types of things.
Doesn't he have like
to do with the peanut?
He was a lagoon wizard.
Yeah.
And didn't he also wasn't he responsible for what's the thing when you like moving the crops and shit?
What?
Didn't he invent that? Crop circulation? Am I fucking
circulation? He invented like that. He was one of the greatest inventors of all time. Come on, GWC, man. GWC.
This is crazy. Wait, where did y'all go to school? Public school? Oh,
they didn't teach you about that shit. Yeah. No shot they taught you about that.
Yeah, man.
That's kind of
Steve, who invented peanut butter?
George Washington.
You Googled that shit.
Did you Google it?
I know you Googled it.
I knew he Googled
it. There's some controversy about whether or not he actually invented peanut butter, but he perfected the peanut butter situation.
But also, didn't he like manufacture and like popular like
all
sell
kinds
it?
The nigga was peanut obsessed.
Yeah.
Like he loved peanuts. You know what I'm saying? It's
allergic people like the bane of their existence.
Also, did you also know this is the other one that like they always try to hit you with? You know, super soaker.
Super soaker, yeah. Super soaker.
Black man.
NASA engineer. NASA engineer.
Black man, super soaker. But like, look, Granville Woods, all the different types of people and stuff like that. We're actually doing a movie about Granville Woods. Only problem is the nigga was 7 feet tall, and it's hard to find.
7 feet tall?
He was 7 feet tall.
Who's the dude who played
Just get him on a full apple.
The dude who played Kareem.
Oh yeah. He was like.
Wait, y'all can't hire someone who like 6 foot and just by the way you shoot,
put him on a full apple, you know?
Yeah, kind of right.
Put some lifts in,
something like that, you know.
Wait, can I also? This is totally off, but while we're talking about like height, dog, I did not realize how height phobic, or not even height phobic, the dating pool was, because like some of my sisters when they talk about like, I didn't realize 5'10" is quite literally. There was just like, I can't do 5'9". I'm like, how can you tell?
Wait,
I want to be very clear. We are not this podcast.
Wait, this is not what we do. This is not what we do. Hey, wait a second. I want to break this out because I have a question.
Oh my God.
No.
I do have a question.
I don't endorse this.
I do have a question.
Fad the podcast.
You guys, I'm 6'4". I don't have that problem. Okay, but I do have a question about this. When did this start?
Yeah,
and I'll tell you. The height thing, and I'll tell you why. Because I made a list of the hottest guys of the 90s in
like 5'10" and under.
No. But it was guys on there. Tupac, like DMX. DMX wasn't on the list. But
wait, how short is DMX?
DMX wasn't 6 feet tall.
Damn, that's because
Tupac was 5'9". Oh
yeah,
wow.
So
5'9" isn't short.
I'm not saying it's not short at all. I'm not saying it's short. But what I'm saying is, when I look back of this list of guys in the 90s. It wasn't a bunch of guys on there that was like over 6 feet tall. Yeah. It was some of them. I'm wondering, when did the height thing for the ladies start to where, because I'm looking back at some of the
overblown.
The old heartthrobs, and not all of these guys was like 6'2", 6'3", 6'4".
But here's
when
the thing,
become a thing?
It's social media, because in a magazine, we were seeing them on MTV. I thought DMX was 6 foot. Just because like you just see him and you like,
look how
he
tall,
acts like he's 7
look how
feet
tall X was. Like, oh yeah, but what you saying, Charles?
But so I think now with IG
5'11".
and shit, it's like
5'11". He's right there. But what I'm saying is,
but no, here's the thing. People are like, yeah, can you really mark like you like he's 5'11"? He's sometimes I'm just like, nigga, I don't know.
I'm just saying, I do feel like this is one of those things. Once again, I'm not hating on anybody. I was 6 feet tall when I was in the 8th grade. So, but what I'm saying is, I do feel like this is like one of those internet narratives.
Yeah.
That has like mutated itself and now becomes something that people are now told that they're supposed to expect. Like the whole thing, like, I can't date a man unless he makes $150,000, $200,000 a year.
Oh God, that's
like that whole like I think these are starting to
we did become that type of podcast.
I apologize. Let's move on.
Yeah, we can't do that.
No, actually, we bring it back.
It's not a diss. I'm just saying.
No, if we bring it back though to the Penguin. My man needed an alibi, and Shawty was looking at him like, "You 5'5". I can't.
Shut up.
I can't give you that. He had to.
Oh my goodness! Man.
Shut up, nigga. You too short to come around here asking for an alibi. She was black though.
He did.
Some penguin down, man.
But I have to.
You're not like
since
them.
we already that type of.
Penguin down.
Since we already
we're
that
not
type of
podcast. We're not.
You know why?
We're not.
Wild Black Queens.
Bruh, penguin down. He not like them niggas from England. Like
what?
Hey, Hey, we gotta go to Agatha. We gotta go to Agatha Pod, bro. We'll
be right back.
We gotta go to. Let's take a little break. We'll come back with Agatha. All right, time for Agatha. Spoiler. We're getting ready to talk about
Agatha All Along.
You're listening to a reaction podcast. The spoilers are coming. Midnight Manifest, Chuck.
All right, these are Midnight Manifests for Agatha All Along, created by Jack Schaefer, starring Kathryn Hahn, Aubrey Plaza, Joe Locke. 2 episodes, Seekest Thou Road, Circle Sown with Fate, Unlock Thy Hidden Gate. The first is directed and written by Schaefer, and the second is directed by Schaefer, but written by Laura Donnie. We get an extended Mayor of Easttown true crime parody as Agatha wakes up as a police officer solving the crime of a murdered woman in the woods. Over the course of the episode, it's revealed Agatha is still under Wanda's spell from WandaVision. With the help of a mysterious boy in Aubrey Plaza, Agatha wakes up but no longer has her magic. Agatha spends the next episode getting a coven of witches together so they can go on a trip to the road, which will grant all of their wishes.
Which wishes?
Which?
Okay. Agatha. Charles.
No, let's not.
Okay.
Don't put me in the hot seat first. I want to know what you thought first.
I liked it. The first episode was really good.
Okay.
The second episode was less so, but still good.
Yeah.
So the first episode of the show made me realize what an achievement WandaVision actually was. Okay. Obviously, it was very reminiscent of WandaVision in that they went back to the television show format. And they had Agatha inside of a TV show procedural. Look, this is the only thing I can ask for from the MCU, especially with characters that we don't know that well and that we don't have as deep of a comic connection to. The only thing I can ask for is inventiveness and intrigue. Those were the 2 most important things that WandaVision needed to do. There were a couple of scares in there towards the end. And it got me there. I did not know what was happening. Figured it out towards the end and what they were trying to do, and they were trying to bring her out of the spell. And it set the tone for what could be a really fun look into a different side of Marvel. I liked it. It was funny. It was a little sexy. It was kooky. And Kathryn Hahn was great in it.
Yeah, I'd agree. Kathryn Hahn. I think Kathryn Hahn, especially in the second episode, that's why I feel like the second episode was better than the first one because she's doing the Mayor of Easttown thing, which is like fine, great actress. But when she's like leaning into being Agatha, I think she was at her best. But I think the show it's got a little heat to it, like a little heat where I'm like I'm interested to see what goes on. Remember, like they're doing the whole singing thing, going to the thing, they're going on the road.
Great song.
I want to see where that goes. I'm trying to remember her name. Deborah Jo Rupp is her name.
Yeah.
When they're doing the thing and she's like lip singing, like I thought she was really fun in that role. I think 2 episodes in, I agree. Like it needs to be intriguing and it needs to be inventive. I think so far it's done just enough to keep me ready to. It's kept me interested to see where it goes, like episode 3, episode 4.
There's a lot of fun to be had here. You can very much tell that Kathryn Hahn is loving being this character, and she's very, very, very good. I think that it passes all of my it ticks all of my boxes for like what I think could make a decent Marvel show, because a very charismatic performance, like a decent little mystery that we're going to be solving and kind of like getting a team together of, ragtag witches. And I think it could be fun. Like Kathryn Hahn's really funny in that second episode. I think that Jomi and I found ourselves laughing like at some like very interesting digs at like Gwyneth Paltrow.
That was the Jade Egg joint.
The Jade Egg joint was like really funny.
That was funny.
There's fun to be had here.
They're striking the right chord.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
I really can't fault it for that at
It's
all.
an Agatha Harkness show that I'm going to be completely honest. I don't know who asked for it. You know what I mean?
I'll kind of agree with Charles where I'm like, okay, maybe Marvel's a little high on its own supply.
What do you mean?
If they
Like,
give
this is-
Agatha Harkness a show,
Brother,
but
I think they're high on Kathryn Hahn.
sure, who wouldn't be?
Sure.
Like,
I
the,
guess.
the
definitely.
Agatha All Along song was a big deal, and I
Yes.
think that the character was sort of a breakout star from the first show. Did that mean that right away we were clamoring for her to get her own show? No, but I do think the show has shown some promise in its first couple episodes.
That's ultimately my point was going to go, where it's like, I wasn't the first one to be like, yeah, we need an Agatha Harkness show, let's go. But so far, these first 2 episodes, I think it's done enough to be like, okay, cool. Like, let's see where this goes. Let's see where we end up, like halfway through, or somewhat, and then we can reevaluate. All right, did we actually need this? But so far, so good.
Also, Horny Marvel's back,
dude. I thought they were gonna
the
kiss.
Tension.
I thought they were gonna kiss
between Aubrey Plaza and.
Ain't nothing wrong with it, baby.
All right,
ain't nothing wrong.
Okay, there's something wrong with that.
Ain't nothing wrong.
You didn't have to go there, man. We were keeping it.
To say something about Aubrey Plaza. Aubrey Plaza got that heat.
I mean,
no, she's. There's a lot of.
Not lying.
There's a lot of charisma coming off.
No.
No.
Charisma's not a. Don't.
No. Like, okay, fine. Massive sex appeal.
Aubrey, she got that heat,
man.
What is it? Like, what is it about Aubrey Plaza? She got that heat. One time I saw Aubrey Plaza, and she was in this video, and she was playing pickup basketball at a WNBA game after the game was over.
She broke her
on
foot?
the court.
No. She tore her ACL during the All-Star Weekend celebrity game. Yeah.
See, that's attractive.
Yeah, she came out on D23 with like a cane and a brace.
Well, that's attractive to bust your ACL on a basketball court. I don't know. She got that heat.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, if you're gonna date like a white girl, that's the kind of white girl that you go for, right?
Puerto Rican.
Is she Puerto Rican?
Yes.
I didn't know that. Hold on.
Wait, are you fact checking Jomi? You fact checking Jomi right now?
I didn't know that. But now I can see it though.
Oh my God.
That's crazy. Because you don't see it at first, and then when you know it, that's Aubrey from the block. You know what I'm saying?
Stop. Relax.
Hey, come on, bruh.
Damn, that's crazy.
Charles.
Her paternal grandfather was born
All right.
in Arecibo. Okay, shout out to her. What? But she's not. But she's a mix of things. Okay, she's a mix of things.
What's she a mix of, man?
Because she did her 23andMe, and she's 31% Irish. Wait a minute, it's on her Instagram page.
I understand. This information is okay.
It's public.
Come on,
it's public knowledge.
Okay,
Jesus Christ.
Aubrey, my bad. Like it's. I'm saying is she smolders on screen.
Yes, she does.
Yes,
Yes, she does.
Charles, why didn't you like it?
Why are we even like? I will just say,
Let's do it something real quick.
Yeah.
Tell us why you didn't like it with great enthusiasm.
With great enthusiasm.
Yeah,
Smile on your face,
tired,
tell us, bro.
Like just
these shows tired me out. They
Nigga.
tuckered your boy out.
nigga, bring the enthusiasm to the podcast.
Bro.
Just like tell us why you liked it, but like it was the shit. Like give us the energy.
I can't.
Charles.
I'll just
Charles.
This is doing the opposite effect.
Charles.
This is like my fucking nightmare.
Are you saying that Aubrey Plaza on that couch, didn't move
Here's
you?
the thing. I already know what Feige and Co were doing because when Aubrey was there, I was like, damn, is Agatha pretty good? She wasn't on the screen. I was like,
So when she saunters in the door, she's FBI. Oh, the feds are here because it's out of her jurisdiction.
No, it's just
And she goes, you can be in control. I'm like, God damn.
Oh.
I'm like, man, let me text Umar real quick. Cause I'm like, this ain't right. What I'm
counsel?
Like what I'm feeling isn't correct, man. That's not, I'm for the sisters. You know what I'm saying? But Aubrey got it. Anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
I will say, if I'm being fair, I think just this is not the Hallmark movie, Disney Channel tweeness of this is just not my bag, which is okay. So I have to be like, it's just that's not my thing, if I'm being fair. But if I was just judging it, I think this does have my issue, I think, with both the Penguin and Agatha, and I get that we're just in a different place in Hollywood, is that if you can get talented actors or actresses like Colin Farrell or Kathryn Hahn or Aubrey Plaza to do stuff like this, there does become a point where I'm like, what emotional investment culturally is there in Agatha or in the Penguin for these stories to exist? Because it's like, part of IP, if we're just going to be honest about superhero storytelling, is that I have some type of connection to these characters, whether it's your Batman, even a Captain America. I wasn't reading Captain America, but it's like I saw him in the Avengers. I have something. There's a history. There's a story there. With Agatha, I'm just going to be honest. I've never read a comic where I was just like, damn, this Agatha shit hitting. So this show was going to have to do a very, very, it's a hard task. And I think on top of that, with WandaVision, back in the day, we would have gotten multiple seasons of WandaVision for me to fall in love with this world, fall in love with the neighbors. And then after 2 or 3 seasons, once you get an Agatha spinoff, it would have made sense because this was a world. Now we're at this point where I was kind of watching this and I'm like, this is kind of like a WandaVision sequel without any of the characters or like moments from that would make this feel more vital.
It's only been 2 episodes, but let me ask you a question. Why do you think they want to play those characters? The Colin Farrells and the Kathryn Hahns and the people like that. Why do you think they want to play them?
Money.
So you think it's only money?
I don't think it's only. I think if this is primarily the stuff that's getting made, where it's like, would we have gotten an original Colin Farrell gangster TV show or an original Kathryn Hahn witch show in 2024? Probably not. So I think they're just like, I'm not going to.
Well, you did. So Colin Farrell has a show on Apple called Sugar. So you
isn't that more of a noir type?
But what I'm saying is he can do whatever he wants, right? So the same year that he did the Batman, he was talking about it on the panel. He did the Banshees of
Inisherin.
So he doesn't have to play the Penguin.
No, I'm not saying that he has to.
I know. So what I'm saying is he doesn't have to play the Penguin. Like he's got this with your friend. Sugar is one of Simon's shows.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he's got shows, right?
Yeah.
So funny is I had somebody else call me and ask me to ask somebody else what Colin Farrell's availability would be for next year because they wanted him for something different, right? So he can do whatever he wants. The question is, why did he do the Penguin? The question is, why did Kathryn Hahn? And I do think that for her, maybe the financial is a little bit more of an incentive because that character has the opportunity to, and I can't speak for Kathryn Hahn, by the way, because that character has the opportunity to carry on to multiple shows and movies and all of that stuff like that. Maybe she wants that, and she also maybe doesn't have a signature character right now. But I also think that people challenge themselves in different ways. And there is a specific challenge to do something that saturates pop culture in such a direct way. And actors want that. I think they want the opportunity to kind of bring, and it's also a role that really plays to a lot of her very distinct strengths in a major way. Her musical theater strengths, her comedy chops, and it's something that everybody will watch. So I don't know if it's, for him, he said it very directly. They had to sell him on playing the Penguin. They had to sell him on playing the Penguin.
To make up the entire
they had to sell him on doing it. It was a challenge for him.
Yeah.
It was a challenge for both of them. So there's an IP portion of it, but when we're talking about why these things get made, there's also a part of this, and obviously it's not when you've paid Captain America for the 7th or 8th time. There's also a part of this that, actors take on different challenges and people take on different things and different roles for a lot of different reasons. I think Agatha is significantly less artistically ambitious than the Penguin is. But I do think it's a role that she loves to play and that she wants to embody in a major way.
So I don't even think Kathryn is like bad as Agatha. Like in both of these shows, like I see performances and I see what they're trying to do, but there is a level, if I'm like being real, how many people wake up in the morning and are just like, it's the thing that I want to create right now is an Agatha show. Where it's like, and that's not me like being
what
like.
What an odd question.
No, what I mean is I'm just like, I do think in like Hollywood, there are certain characters in this pool, whether it is your like Batmans or Avengers or Fantastic Four, where you could be like, not only from the audience side, but from like directors and writers are just like, oh, I grew up really, really loving these characters. There's so many stories I want to tell in this world. Where it's like with Agatha, they got there, obviously, after WandaVision, after the show. Yeah. But there is a level of it's like, because it's tied to the MCU, I'm like, this show isn't really scary enough to be horror, and it's not necessarily like magical enough to be interesting. It's like all of these things in one, but it's it's a jack of all trades, at least for the first 2 episodes, where I'm like, it's not that scary. The magical stuff to me is not that interesting. And it doesn't have necessarily the inventiveness of WandaVision, where it's like, oh, you can tell baked into WandaVision is like, we're going to skewer these moments of TV history, where in this they're like, all right, the first episode is our like True Detective Mayor of Easttown send up, and then immediately it becomes like this weird like, all right, we're getting this band of coven witches together, and I'm like, what is the show? WandaVision, at least I was like, oh, this is the type of story they're trying to tell. This seems like it's stuck in between a bunch of different things.
Well, I think only 2 episodes proving that. I think that this first episode is kind of just like a wink and a nod to what WandaVision was, and the fact that she's still trapped under this old spell that now died out when Wanda Maximoff is no longer with us. And now it kind of just becomes a road trip movie. Or like this kind of like adventure of just like, okay, bring these witches and outcasts together. We'll see what we can make out of this. And I think that for the idea of like, if there are enough people that either ask for this or wake up one morning wanting to make it, I think the answer is actually enough, because A, of the fact that it was made, but B, like they clearly saw what Kathryn Hahn was doing in WandaVision, and for 3 years later still had the resounding answer like, yeah, we want to revisit that. We want, like, there's something there that we actually think that we can do. And I think for the first few episodes, like, we got a little something here. There's fun. I enjoy it.
There's fun. There's intrigue. I think, I don't know, man. The question of, oh man,
who is Teen?
Who is? Oh my God, who is Teen?
It's gonna be annoying to call him Teen.
It's Wiccan.
It's easy. Yeah.
Gasp! Oh no! Like that's like, I don't think that's like a mystery we're gonna hold on to.
But I don't think that's for us.
Exactly. Right.
I think that's for Kalika, who's like, wait a minute, why aren't they saying his name? I think a lot of things. I don't think that's for us. Go ahead. I don't mean to cut your wisdom, Jomi.
But the question of like, who wakes up wanting to make an Agatha show? You know what I mean? Like that kind of inspiration comes from anywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People watch shows, they watch movies, they find themselves like attached to some like characters, whatever, and they have the ability to like come up with like a show for Agatha that's even remotely interesting. Honestly, it's kind of a success because again, who does care?
Yeah. To think that there would be even a remotely interesting version of a Agatha Harkness show, a probably D-list comic book character before this show, WandaVision, like F-list character for WandaVision to show up and like kind of take the world by storm for a second. Yeah, like that's kind of a miracle.
You guys ever heard of a show called Perfect Strangers?
Oh wait, yeah. What was the
Balky?
Yeah.
World keeps turning.
So, did you know that Family Matters is a spinoff of Perfect Strangers?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We have the same font and everything.
Like, why would you make a show about the elevator lady or whatever she was in Family Matters? Like, why would you make? Like, why did she?
I mean, but it was what I was bringing up.
8 seasons.
Perfect Strangers was that shit.
I know. Yeah.
Balky was my motherfucker.
Standing tall.
Yeah,
but here's the thing: like, whether Cheers, Frasier, all these things, you used to get these shows where it's like, what's the cliche thing everybody says about TV shows? People turn into them because you want to hang out with your people. We hung out with the WandaVision characters for like 1 season. So it's like they're touching upon a bunch of stuff in WandaVision where I'm like, I didn't really have that much of an emotional investment in this town.
A lot of people love that.
Right. Sure. But
no.
Love the song too.
No.
It was a big deal for the time that it was popping.
But what I'm saying is that show, WandaVision, came out 5 years ago.
2021.
Yeah. So what? 4 years ago?
3 years.
So we got 1 season of that. Now we're back with Agatha. I'm just saying that, like, in this new model, I'm just like, what am I? I was watching it and I was like,
you're judging a TV show based on an old TV show model when this is the Marvel model, where like it's kind of just been iterated upon.
Let's do something real quick too. Let's not get too bogged down into this, and let's give the show its due.
Of course.
Like that we're covering. Okay, so what does the show have to do to be successful?
I think just kind of ride these like kind of fun vibes from what Agatha like brought over from WandaVision, and clearly in these first 2 episodes it has. I think if it's a fun, spooky-ish adventure with like crazy witch characters and maybe a fun little cameo or two, like that's fine. Mm-hmm. We came out of the trenches of Secret Invasion. I'm really not asking for much. Like we're doing okay.
We're doing okay?
Yeah. With Agatha, yes, I will say that. We're doing all right.
Doing okay. I mean,
you find that Secret Invasion level suck?
Absolutely.
Okay, no.
Yeah, you're not being serious.
Absolutely.
No, you're not being serious.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're not being serious.
When Agatha has a flexed Drax arm, then maybe we'll have that talk. But no.
No, but if we're talking about what it needs to be successful,
fucking chill.
there is a level of we're between Secret Invasion, Echo, this. I'm like,
okay, what does the show have to do to be successful, Joey?
I mean, it's clearly a Kathryn Hahn vehicle. She's doing great so far.
So she has to bring it.
Yes, if she continues to bring it, if Aubrey Plaza continues to bring it, if they because I think they episode 2 ends with her on the road. Whatever. I assume at the end of the road is all the friends you made along the way. Some type of nonsense. But if that group dynamic works going forward, and we see Kathryn Hahn do her stuff,
or she just ups and kills him. Who knows?
Are we gonna get enough Aubrey Plaza? Because it doesn't seem like she's gonna be in the show a whole bunch.
She's only the first episode.
She'll at least be bookended for sure. You don't bill her like
Aubrey's
that
booked and busy.
Now, there is the chance that as this show moves forward,
it stinks.
I mean, obviously, but as this show moves forward, that we devolve a little bit into some CGI madness. I could see it coming. To me, I think the show has to establish itself and the weight of its own narrative without resorting to Marvel tricks. And let's be honest, not a lot of these shows have been able to do that.
I think that's
sure.
fair.
Yeah.
But again, also the thing that we have said before is that more than a few of these shows have started pretty strong. Or at least started intriguingly enough.
I guess my whole thing is, if I'm being honest, right now it feels like, especially with these Disney Plus Marvel shows, we're at this point where I feel like I'm the last person on a sinking ship. Where could I give Agatha All Along to just somebody and be like, hey, here the new Marvel show is out? It seems like we're kind of in a bubble where nobody wants to say the quiet part out loud, which is dog, we are watching a fucking Agatha All Along show, and the buzz on this and the Penguin could not be lower. And it's just
people are gassing the Penguin.
People gassing the Penguin.
Yeah.
Who?
Everybody.
Nigga, where you be at?
Yeah, no, you're not. Yeah, you pretending.
You
pretending.
Yeah, you pretending.
People are acting like the Penguin is the Godfather Part 6.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go. I was a little like Charles when I was watching the Penguin. I was like, this shit not gonna be that good. And then he shot that motherfucker.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit! We busting the motherfucking Englique? Vanny want wingy. Okay. So look, the buzz is down. not the Penguin buzz is crazy.
But yeah,
they're gassing it.
They're gassing the Penguin.
The Penguin buzz is crazy. The buzz is down. However, I don't know how that actually relates to the quality of the shows themselves. I think superhero media itself is in a very precarious situation, and I think that everyone is aware of that. Now, I will say this. We've talked about, for some reason, people are going back to the movies. People are going to see every movie that comes out. They're going to see it's big time.
Making a lot of money.
Even though, people were apparently whipped and chained to do animation on Inside Out 2. It's people.
All right, bro.
People still made a ton of money. Next year is obviously a big year for the superhero movie. I do think that it's incumbent upon people, maybe not you, Charles, to, if you're gonna watch the show, watch the show. Don't watch the show in the context of Marvel and how dope Marvel is or how whack Marvel is, because there were whack Marvel products that you probably gave a little bit of a pass to because of when Marvel was cooking. And then there are going to be dope Marvel products that you probably don't talk enough about because Marvel is in a slump. And everyone who's a little bit objective would agree that Marvel has been in somewhat of a slump.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Somewhat of a
So
slump.
I guess for someone like me, what's the last Marvel Disney Plus show that we can point to that I would say would be I'm trusting where they're going with this process.
There's almost none.
They're in the midst of a course correction, like as we record this.
Wait. You don't. Oh, I'm sorry, Steve. Go ahead.
Well, no, it's because like literally we were talking about this at the event the other day, where we're like, okay, like the next thing after this is Daredevil. Like, and if there isn't something that isn't like a surefire bet that it will at least be successful, it's gonna be Daredevil. And they had to scrap an entire first season of that because they didn't like it.
8-9 episodes. Had to get rid of them?
They just stopped and then did it again.
They got that money.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like they're clearly operating in like, all right, like what we've been doing before is not working, and we got to do something different.
Well, I mean, we also enjoy Loki season, like both seasons of Loki.
Yeah, but it wasn't. I would say Loki season 2 was a step down from season. Like it was
good though. So this is what I will say. This is what I'll say. Nobody at this point owes Marvel the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, don't need to shoot them anyway.
Like no one owes Marvel the benefit of the doubt. But if you're going to watch the show, I think it would be fair not to watch this show in the context of past failures.
Right. And that's why I told you. I was like, if I was being fair, I was just like, the show that like I was presented also stylistically is just not for me. Like, I like Kathryn Hahn as a performer. Once the witches started singing, I'm just like, this just is not.
You don't like Hocus Pocus?
No, I love Hocus Pocus. But here's the thing. I love Hocus Pocus because it's 90 minutes. It's a movie. Yeah. 8 hours of this shit. I'm like, all right.
Patty LuPone? You're going to disrespect Patty LuPone?
You like Practical Magic? Put the lime in the coconut.
Show's like 30 minutes.
Practical Magic is an insane movie. I only saw that for the first time like last year.
Yeah, Practical Magic is stupid.
It's great though.
You like it?
Yeah, I think it's fun.
That's them white witches. How come black witches never get a show?
Okay.
I want more black witches.
Twitches.
Like, what's Twitches?
Twitches. Well, that was
Tia and Tamara. You don't know about no Twitches?
I don't fuck with Twitches like that.
2005.
What was this? They were black.
It's a decom. Disney Channel original movie.
Nah, I'm not fucking with that.
Decom? That's how I know.
You got an acronym for that now?
Right.
Like, come on. You can just say
So Twitches.
Disney Channel original movie.
Excuse me.
There was a show that was out for a little while about a black family that had supernatural powers.
Wait.
It was a show that was out for a second. I think it's what we talked about before. I think they're gonna do too many church sermons on it if it's in the black community with the witches and stuff. I think it's not gonna.
No,
go
but
over
here
well.
also the problem is whenever they give black people magical powers, it's always tied back to slavery. They always in the South. They like, yeah, your first witch was a slave. Well, was a slave and he freed himself with magic. And I'm like, all right, can we just give him wands and shit and let him?
Did I ever tell you about this horror movie treatment?
That's a J.K. Rowling.
Is it because Charles is right? He is. So this is horror movie treatment I had one time about these people. It's about these black people, right? And they essentially are in the town that my dad grew up in. Mm-hmm. They can't leave the town. They're super rich.
Oh.
They're ridiculously rich, and they've been rich since slavery times. They can't leave the town because they put a magical binding spell on the town, and there's like a big fucking hulking ex-slave demon that protects them. So they're like, okay, so look.
Protects them?
So look, yeah. So they're super rich.
Okay.
They're sugarcane farmers, but they don't ever travel. And a family comes there. They never leave the town. A family of
modern day?
It's modern day.
Okay.
A white documentary film crew comes to do a documentary on them and ask them how they were able to establish their sugarcane farm back in the day on all of that stuff and how they were able to do all of this and like not be attacked by white racists and the Ku Klux Klan. But it's because there's actually like a golem, like a hulking thing that protects them. And so when racists come through, it's like a Bermuda Triangle for them. They've killed them all up, and all of the white people around there respect them.
And they can't leave.
They can't leave. If they leave, they lose the protection of this thing, and they would rather stay in the town than be subjected to the racism of the world. As long as they stay in there, they can't. They can't fucking.
It's a little Twilight Zone-y, yeah.
And so, like the fucking demon detects racism in white people's hearts, and if he feels it, he kills you. And so there was one guy that was on the film crew that had made an N-word joke on the way out there, and he gets his fucking head ripped off, and the whole thing. And so look,
in the world?
I wrote the treatment that we're pitching it around, and we're doing all this stuff. And like, this is really interesting, but I don't know if we want a slave horror movie like where this guy, he's like, Manager pulls me to the side. My manager goes, "Van, you're not gonna get very far in the town. You're killing dozens of white people over slavery in every movie with rich black people. And you're not gonna get it. It's not a good pitch. Let's just move on from this project. I'm gonna get that bitch made."
I love the words, let's move on from this project.
Oh my God, you know how many times I've heard that?
Oh, I'm sure.
Like, hey, man, let's move on from this project. That's what I told the dude for Black Hawk Design.
Let's move on from this project.
We out.
Let's move on from this project.
Let's move on from this project. People say that all the time.
Yeah.
Because if your management's good, they'll pitch you out a couple of times.
Is that what Charles is going to say when he doesn't like a show? Let's move on from this project.
He can't say it though. Charles, would you like an opt-out from these two shows? You don't have to watch them, but you still have to come here and be part of the vibes.
Honestly, here's the thing. I'm gonna be honest.
Motherfuckers would never see. You get one opt-out a year.
Either the big one
the
or
big
or
no. Here's the thing.
One opt-out a year. But you have to still come here and you have to guess what happened. You have to still take part in the fucking podcast.
Oh, yeah.
But you can have one opt-out a year.
If y'all gave me an opt-out once a year, if we could bundle these two shows, I'd be the most positive motherfucker. Like, you gotta be like, what happened to him? Like, I would bring donuts, burritos. I'd be like...
Okay. So this is what we're gonna do.
Oh my God.
Right. Charles, you're granted an opt-out with Agatha and however, we have to make up a Charles quiz.
A Charles
at the end, and based upon our descriptions of the show, you have to guess what's happened in the show.
That's fair.
Because if you're gonna be this critical of story, we gotta see if you know where story goes.
But also, this could add to his intrigue. You'd be like, wait a minute, so and so showed up.
Yeah.
And he's like, you missed out. You can't.
If Robert Bassett there's no one in Penguin who can show up.
Hey, we gonna make shit up.
You don't know. Robert Bassett showed up in Agatha.
You have no. It's like we gonna say all
y'all
kinds
be like
of shit.
Zoe Kravitz,
Christian Bale showed up. Oh my, like Zoe Kravitz. Hey, bro, did you see the episode of Penguin where Catwoman has to work in the strip club and Zoe Kravitz does a 15-minute strip club?
See, all right, no,
to bands and make a dance. Like I'm gonna say all the. You know what I'm saying?
Strip club Catwoman series will go.
But Catwoman running a strip club in Bloodhaven,
like bro,
with Aubrey Plaza. Like,
stop. Let's move on from this project, please.
No. I'm gonna make the fucking movie.
Okay.
I'm gonna like.
I will say that was the.
I'm gonna make.
If we're ending on a positive note. Dog, Aubrey Plaza wanted to fuck some Kathryn Hahn up in them scenes, bro. I was like, stop with the eyes,
bro. She got the eyes, dog.
So like, the way she was, I was like, come on, girl. Come on, girl.
That's how y'all know I'm down because, you know, I thought she was a white girl and I was feeling a little not good, but it turned out she Puerto Rican, so it's all good. You know what I'm saying? Not for Umar, but I could feel the Latina. You know what I'm saying?
Honestly,
smoldering.
I feel like the sisters are gonna beat up on you.
Let's move on from this project.
Let's move on from this project.
Shut up. We're talking about you. Love
I know you not
love
talking,
her.
Steve.
I do.
You love her.
I do love her.
Jomi.
You should have seen him yesterday.
Arjuna.
You should have seen him.
Yeah, bricked up.
Were y'all bricked up?
Y'all bricked up
I
again.
know.
Y'all bricked up again.
Y'all was bricked up in the theater.
Definitely bricked. Bro, how many times are y'all going to go to the El Capitan
Were you seated next to them?
How many times y'all going to
I was.
They were bricked up. Jomi cut a hole in his popcorn bucket. Like, stop it. It's like how many times, bro, every time we go to the El Capitan theater, that's why we don't go with y'all. Every time we go to the El Capitan, y'all get bricked up in the theater.
I'm gonna be honest.
They do a puppet show before the movies at the El Capitan. That's a wrap. This week, the House of R will give you their deep dive on the latest episode of Rings of Power and Agatha All Along. And on Saturday, Mid Edition gives you their reactions to Transformers 1. How exciting.
Be fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
When you guys are seeing it?
Seeing it tonight.
Seeing it tonight?
Seeing it tonight.
Yeah.
Know
what that means, Charles?
Oh, my God.
Oh, dog.
No, it's at the Grove. We're not doing that there.
Robots in disguise.
That's a classy joint.
We only get hard at the El Cap, Steve?
That's crazy.
Are you?
That's where they be showing the children's movies. That's crazy.
You're killing me, bro.
Kermah, play not like us. That's some freaky ass shit.
That's Disney, bro.
Come on,
Steve,
bro.
that's Disney, bro.
Come on, man. This is why they don't be letting us, when we like, hey, can we get a screener? They like, nah, for the midnight.
That's Disney, man. God damn, bro. That's Disney, dog. Our producers are Steve, the freaky motherfucker, Ahlman, Jonathan Midnight Chocolate Drop Kermah, Aleya O'Brien, Zenieris, Jomi the Explainer, Adeniran on social, El Jomi Lada? Hashtag El Jomi Lada?
Oh, the bank or from the Batman.
Oh, right, Lada. Oh, yeah. Additional production from Arjuna Ramgopal. Chuck, please take us out.
Shout out our Puerto Rican princesses.
Oh my God.
Penguin is the man. And if you're getting bricked up, you can only do it at the El Capitan.
Oh shit! Oh my god!
We don't do that at the Grove.
Why would you say that?
We don't do that at the Grove.
If Kendrick Lamar, and you could like record this. If Kendrick Lamar had made Lil Homies, have you heard Lil Homies before? If Kendrick Lamar had made Lil Homies, niggas will be talking about Lil Homies was the greatest song of the year. That song is crazy. Like
Charles,
you heard that record?
you're not reacting to any of this. Why?
Because this is he probably hate on Vince. But if
hate on who?
Probably hate on Vince.
Staples?
Yeah.
All right.
How can you hate Vince Staples?
I don't hate Vince. Why? I don't hate Vince Staples.
But I'm telling you,
You
right
don't like
now,
Northside Long Beach?
like
I love dog. I
Great
love
song.
these songs, but also like it's Vince Staples. Like Vince Staples isn't Kendrick Lamar. I don't even think he wants to be Kendrick Lamar.
No,
I listen to Vince more.
I'm not saying that he wants to be Kendrick Lamar. What I'm saying is Vince Staples consistently puts out the hardest, best introspective work.
Facts.
Yeah, he's great.
He's fucking great. And that song right there.
It's a banger.
Wait, are we talking about a Tufe? That song?
No. Lil Homies.
Lil Homies.
Life hard, but I go harder.
You ever heard that record?
Don't crash out.
I like Vince Staples.
It's the fact that like the Kendrick Lamar hasn't had like a big hit or something like that.
All right, we're not going to
start.
I'm saying in the sense that like people like
Stevie
dance
ruined
to.
it.
I'm asking.
So Kendrick Lamar hasn't had a hit that
No,
people
I'm
dance
asking
to.
if people like if he had more mainstream hits rather than anything that came out on Morale.
No, he had. So I was maybe
Like
he had
stuff that like
Humble,
when Damn
Swimming
went out.
pools.
Motherfuckers were shaking ass to swimming pools for some reason. That's god
Right, but
awful,
that's but it's the fact that like when
Not
Damn
Like Us
hit,
is probably his biggest pop hit though.
yeah.
Yeah, but guys, he had the Black Panther joint. He had all of Damn.
Okay,
like,
Whoa.
Black
I'm
Panther
not saying.
moves.
I'm not. First of all, you guys, please don't put me in a situation where the besmirching of Kendrick is happening, because if you besmirch Kendrick right now, they'll fucking
Right, yeah, you're done.
I'm not saying it at all. What I'm saying is, I listen to Lil Homies every day. I listen to Vince Staples all the time, and to me, it's like they're just certain artists that, for whatever reason, continue to drop like Vince Staples. Doechii just came out, right?
That shit hard.
That's fucking fantastic music.
Yeah.
And it's just like, all right.
I had to turn the record off.
You had
What?
to turn the Doechii off?
What?
It's just not for me. It's not bad.
That's
It's just
fair.
not for me. I'm not.
Yeah,
It's not
for you.